back in the day when I was a little girl, the faith was lived at home. My mother was French, my father English, not a Catholic until he converted when he was about 60 years of age. And it was lived in a very natural and sincere way. No great fuss, but just a part woven in as a part of our life. I remember when I made the decision to go to Mass every day, when one realizes if this is all real. I think my family, my parents made God very real for me. The attendance at the sacraments, and it was a very sincere and faith-filled experience. Well, anyway, life moves on. You go through the teenage years when there's darkness and difficulty, and I remember, the obscurity of faith in the teenage years, and I remember the wise words of my mother, saying, bringing the important things, we had to journey on. So how did that lead me to the SALT approach and designing the SALT approach? In teaching in schools for many years in a Catholic school, I realized that there was a great need to make things, more than following a textbook, make things come alive for children. When I was at university, teaching at the university with Gerard O'Shea in Notre Dame University in Sydney, he introduced me to the work of Montessori and Cavaletti and the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd as well. That was part of what we taught at the university. And I realized this was a tremendous tool because it enabled me to develop ideas that give people the tools that they would need to be able to transmit faith. So, for example, there are the booklets that accompany the materials that were developed for the SALT approach. These are really crucial because one can have a box of materials, but they're like so many toys, if you like, unless they're accompanied by a meaningful procedure, introduction to passages of the scripture that are read as they are written, and the right kind of questions for children to ponder, wandering questions that will make them really go deep, not only the children but the parents or the teachers as well. These kinds of things need to be incorporated into a program for teaching, whether it's at school or whether it's a parent at home with a box of materials. If it's just the materials, the figurines, for example, without the guiding booklets, they are handicapped, if you will, because it's to know how to use those things powerfully. And that's what the SALT approach is trying to do, to facilitate having all the materials at your hand so that it can be used effectively. Now, parents may or may not have this material, but they may have a replacement possibility. They may have some materials. They may be able to design their own thing. But this is how the SALT approach tries to support the whole community. So a school is provided with materials, with the booklets that they need, the films that can help them to teach effectively or conduct a session effectively, and Sunday school sessions or children's liturgy sessions every week. Quite often on the hub there'll be the Sunday reading and there'll be a booklet to accompany it that they can download. They may not need a great deal of material to do that. Or in the children's liturgy experience, when the children are coming out in the early part of the Mass, and the catechist can use that as a guide. Then after Mass, for example, the children will be so enthused that they'll bring their parents into the room where that happened to show them something. And it's actually bringing that family together. It's helping perhaps the parents on their own faith journey as well.